Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm Serein and this is my motherhood and lifestyle channel, and today's review is going to be on the Spectra S1 pump. I've been using this since I got home from the hospital. I'm a first-time new mom, 10 weeks postpartum, and I'm going to give you all of my pros and cons of the Spectra S1. So I actually got the Spectra S1 through my health insurance, but I did have to pay a $75 upgrade fee. And then after a few weeks of breast pumping and breastfeeding, I ended up purchasing the LV breast pumps as well, and those are completely cordless. And I will of course have a detailed review video for the LV pumps on their own, as well as a blog post over on my blog, sereimu.com. As a first-time mom and the first time ever pumping or really looking at breast pumps, it can be very, very overwhelming. I know I was very overwhelmed. I picked this one from my health insurance and it cost me $75. They paid for the rest of it. Retail, it is $200 on the Spectra website, and you can purchase it for $199, essentially $200 on Amazon. So hopefully your health insurance will cover it fully, and if not, you are able to get it partially covered. This is cordless, and when I say it's cordless, I mean cordless from the wall. It is not fully cordless because you still have these cords here. This is great because it does have a 3-hour battery life once it's fully charged, and I found that it got me through most of a day if I needed it to of pumping. I was doing nursing and pumping, so I never pumped exclusively, and with my combination of nursing and pumping, I was able to get a full day's worth, and I would just charge it when I saw that the battery was getting a little bit low because I didn't ever want to be without. The bonus about this pump also is that you can have it plugged into the wall outlet and use it at the same time. You don't have to have it fully charged in order to use it. You just won't be able to be walking around away from the outlet if it's not fully charged and you need it to run. It gives you a lot of options in that sense. And then there's also, I believe, a car charging adapter that you can purchase separately. I've heard other women on blogs and on Instagram say that that's what they do when they went back to work so that they could pump and drive at the same time. I work from home. I was also pregnant, delivered, and a new mom during the age of COVID. So there's not really any reason for me to have to pump on the go right now, but it is a good option if you have to drive or you're going to be picking up other kids, or if you are going to go back to work. Overall, it's been really convenient, and this was my main breast pump when I wanted a quick pump and wanted to really drain all of my milk and make sure that I got the full amount of ounces that I knew I was capable of getting in order to store it or to bottle feed my daughter. There's a bunch of different cycles. You've got different options. There's also the express mode, and then there's a night light. The night light's actually really, really bright at full brightness, and I found that when I was using the night light, even on the first setting, I was kind of covering it with my blanket so I wouldn't wake up my husband or wake up my baby. And then the brightest setting is convenient, especially if you're walking through the house, which I was, and having to kind of see what was going on in the dark. The options for the vacuum or the suction is actually pretty intense. I never went higher than a 7, but my most comfortable was around a 3 to 5. Occasionally I'd go up to a 6 or a 7 just to see how my breast would do and how my milk supply would be if I intensified it. But as I learned, it's not about the intensity of the vacuum or the suction, it's more about just the expressive cycles and the manipulation of the breast tissue. I used this when I came home from the hospital immediately, and when I was at the hospital, my milk didn't come in just yet, so I did have a C-section, and I do have my entire labor and delivery vlog as well as my birth story up on the channel already. I'll link it in the cards as well as in the description box. My milk didn't come in for about 3 to 4 days. In the hospital, what I would basically do is I would nurse Lillian for 20 minutes usually. I would hop on the hospital breast pump for an additional 10 to 15 minutes to really just get the milk flowing in hopes that my milk would come in. And my milk came in very shortly once we got home. So I would say it came in maybe on the 3rd day after delivery. Once my milk came in, I was having a little bit of an issue of supply. So I'd breastfeed Lillian for 20 to 40 minutes because she was always falling asleep, and then we'd do both breasts, and then I would hop on the pump and pump for an additional 20 minutes to really make sure I got all of the milk out, and I would save the milk in bottles or I would freeze it for a stash. I found this to be really effective. The pros of having this Spectra S1 is that it is really lightweight. Especially someone who just had a C-section, it was hard for me to like bend over, it was hard for me to carry things. This is really lightweight, it's convenient, it's portable. I like that it had a long battery life. It didn't seem to die as I was using it more and more. And it was also really easy to use plugged in. It has a relatively long AC adapter. I like the night light. I like the express mode, I like the different cycle options, and I really liked the options with the vacuums, especially compared to the LV. The LV really only has a couple settings in comparison to something like the Spectra S1. When you purchase the Spectra S1, you're going to get everything you need to get started. You're going to get the tubes, you're going to get the different flanges. You get 2 different sizes. You get the 24 millimeter and you get the 28 millimeter. You probably want to make sure you get fitted properly, and there's different Instagram accounts and different sites to explain how to get fitted properly. I didn't notice a huge difference, honestly, between the 28 or the 24 millimeter. I found that I got the same amount of milk and my nipples weren't cracked or sore because I did predominantly tried to nurse Lillian whenever I could versus pumping. I absolutely hated pumping. I can give you guys my whole entire pumping story and breastfeeding story if that's something you're interested in and what I found worked for me. In all honesty, out of convenience for not having to wash everything immediately after I pumped and so it was ready for the next pump, I went in between the 28 and the 24 millimeter because I really truly didn't notice a difference or feel a huge difference. Now, it only came with 2 of the catching bottles, so I ended up purchasing a set of additional bottles just so that I could pump and then put the lids on them and store them in the fridge immediately. That was really helpful overnight, especially in the middle of the night or early mornings. I really liked this pump in general. Now, the only thing I hate about it is that it's not completely hands-free. You do need to wear a pumping bra in order to not have to like hold these up against your breasts. But most of the pumps out there, you have to do that. So the only bra I really liked pumping with is my Kendra Braverly bra, and I will have it on the screen right here. It's actually just a bra that you can wear out and about. It's great for nursing, and it also has pump attachments, so you can slip these through the holes of the bra and you can just hold them comfortably. The thing about this type of pump that just really is kind of cumbersome is that even though you have the bra holding these in place, you end up not being able to move around much because if you knock it over or if you bump or if you slide, you're going to spill or knock these out of place, and then the suction won't be as good and you're not going to be able to extract as much milk. Anything with the flanges, the traditional flanges, you want to make sure you have a nice fitted bra that is going to keep these in place. But on top of that, it's just not as mobile and you're not going to be very mobile when you're pumping. That was the thing that really bothered me, was that I would literally be sitting there watching the timer go by as I was pumping because there wasn't much else I could do. And the worst part is I couldn't really hold Lillian while I was pumping. So our routine was I would nurse Lillian, but when she's nursing, she would always fall asleep the first few weeks. She still does at 10 weeks. And then I would pop on the breast pump with my bra and pump for 15 to 20 minutes, usually 20 minutes, and then I would have to go and store everything and rinse everything out, wash everything if I was out, and then Chris would bottle feed Lillian while I was pumping. So it was just very, very intense, especially when you realize that your newborn has to eat every hour to every 2 hours from the start of the last feed. So by the time I was done with everything with the pumping, it was time for her to feed almost again, and she ate a lot. So that was my routine with pumping. I'm really, really happy I upgraded to the S1 because I could not imagine having to be stuck to an outlet on top of that, because at least this way, if I needed to, I could grab this and like move myself and position myself, or take this with me, walk carefully downstairs and grab some water. But this wasn't completely hands-free or cordless where I could comfortably do other things. It was enough for me to not feel totally stuck, but I still felt very constricted and stuck. I did not find any issues with building up my supply with the Spectra S1. I did not have any issues really at all with this for what a pump should do. I really like how compact and lightweight the Spectra S1 is, and if you don't have it in your budget or your insurance won't cover the S1, know that the S2 is the same size and almost the same exact model. The only difference is that you can't unplug it from the wall and walk around. I would say the biggest thing for me with everything that went on and just being a new mom, it was really important for me to have the battery life, because I wanted that freedom and I wanted to be able to not be unplugging a bunch of things just to find a plug so that I could pump. And this was easy for me to take upstairs and downstairs while pumping, because we do have a lot of stairs in our house. Do I recommend the Spectra S1 as a new mom pumping for the first time? Absolutely yes. I think you should definitely get yourself a pump that is lightweight, compact, has a lot of different vacuum settings as well as cycle settings, and also that is cordless. It just is going to make things a lot easier for those first few weeks, because I knew what to expect in theory, but to experience it firsthand was a whole other story. And anything that could help me convenience wise was so beneficial. So I'm really, really happy that I upgraded from what my health insurance was willing to offer. And hopefully your health insurance will cover this pump, and if not, at least cover a portion of it. Doing it all over again, would I still get the Spectra S1? Yes. If I was going to have another baby, I would definitely get the Spectra S1. Now, would I only get the Spectra S1? Probably not. I don't think that we need to have multiple pumps. Is it convenient? Probably. I did get multiple pumps. I got the Spectra S1 and later on the LV. But if I could only get one pump and within my health insurance budget, I would pick the Spectra S1 again. I think it's a great pump, and I got what I needed with this pump. It's simple to use, it's relatively convenient, and it was user-friendly, especially for someone who had no idea what she was doing at first. And my settings that I like to use the first was I would use the express mode, which looks like the little bacon button. I would attach everything and I would start it, and then I would press the express button for about 10 minutes, and then I would go on to a cycle of 54, or I think it was 54, and then I would do that for about 15-20 minutes, and at the end of the cycle I would do 38, which is a slower movement, and then I would bump up the vacuum to make sure I got every last drop of breast milk. So that was kind of my perfect routine of pumping when I was trying to make sure I was keeping my supply up, getting my supply up, as well as making sure I had enough milk for my daughter. The other great thing is that this is a pretty common pump. So when you look at accounts like Legendary Milk or Milk Making Mamas, they all give you a lot of tips on how to use the Spectra S1. So it's a very popular pump, which means there's a lot of information out there on how to troubleshoot, as well as how to get the most out of your pump and the different cycles and kind of routine you can do to either build up your supply or to build up a stash, or whatever your goals are with your pumping routine. The only downside I would say is that it's still using the traditional flanges, which you're going to have to hold, or you're going to have to use a pump bra. And the pump bra, like I said, the Kindred Braverly was my favorite one. It was a little more expensive, but it's the one I would recommend if you plan on pumping and you want to be hands-free. Now, the Kindred Braverly bra did not work well with my LV, and I'll talk about that one in my LV video, and which bras I recommend for just nursing and using the LV. But if you're looking for a pumping bra, the Kindred Braverly one is the best one. I purchased 3 other ones on Amazon that were highly rated. The Kindred Braverly one was really the only one that worked for me. The annoying thing about having to put on a bra and then stick these in the little bra holes in order to be hands-free is that at like 3 in the morning, I'm not sleeping with a bra. I'm usually sleeping with something a little bit looser, a little bit thinner, and I would have to pull my sports bra down, grab my Kindred Braverly bra, snap that thing on, which is a little bit more snug, not constricting, just snug, which is why it works well with the breast pump. And that was like a whole kind of pain trying to like do that behind my back. And then I would have to snap these into those holes and make sure they're perfectly placed. And then I would plug them in to the pump before I could start pumping. And then once I am done pumping, I have to take them out carefully, not to spill anything, lean over, make sure I catch every drop of breast milk because it's liquid gold, and then set it down before taking the bra off, putting my other bra back on, putting my breast pads back in, putting this in the fridge, and then being able to like do whatever it is I was doing or go back to bed. So that's the thing, is that this is still not the most convenient thing in my opinion, and it's 2021. I feel like we should come up with a better way to attach these to our breasts. Just saying. So that's my review on the Spectra S1. I hope it was helpful if you're looking into breast pumps. I know when I was looking into breast pumps, it was really confusing. I didn't know which one to pick. My insurance didn't offer the ones that I had in mind, especially after watching some of the other videos online. I really had my mind and heart set on these other ones that other people's insurances were covering, and then when I went to go claim my pump, I realized none of the ones that I had researched and reviewed were offered by my insurance. So I'm hoping that this video was helpful in case your insurance did not offer some of the other popular ones out there. This is just my experience as a first-time mom. I can also do a video on my first-time breastfeeding journey and pumping journey, which I'm happy to do. If you are interested in, let me know in the comments section, or you can DM me over on Instagram. I'm on Instagram pretty much daily, and you can find all of my information and all the ways to contact me in the description box. Until next time, I hope to see you guys back here every Wednesday and every Saturday for new videos. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys back here. Bye!